Hi there. I'm so happy you're here. I have a few questions today to ask you before my Hangout guest comes on. And those are, number one is, are you one of those people who wants to find tools to help you change your life and make it more fun? Or do you want to find out how to manifest the best things ever in your life? Or you want to find out how to hitch your wagon to the stars? Or do you want formulas that work in your writing business, in your creative business, in your artist business, that work over and over again? Well, you've come to the right place because this program is being created to do all those things, to inspire and uplift and solve a situation in your life's journey, which is very, very important, how you lived your life. Fun, creative, and with solution-minded. Now today, this inspired show is about you as a writer or a creative and how to create magical tales of romance and adventure. It's going to be really fun. Or how to travel into a novel and come back to yourself. How's that one? Or how to get your book out there into the world and into the hands of your readers. Well, today is your day because this inspired show is on writing and living the path of least resistance, as discussed by Beth, Barany, and me, Sandra Longmore, and using the principles of energy. And today, I'm also going to give you a special gift, the golden apple of inspiration. So welcome, welcome to Sandra Longmore Hangout Show. Now I am here creating the highest vibrazione possible. And I have a card that says that, vibrazione. You know what that means? Vibrazione is an Italian word for vibration, but it sounds so fine when I say vibrazione, a much higher vibe for me. And that's important because when I have a high vibration, I attract other high vibration people and solutions into my life, like you the listener and the viewer, and my special guest, Beth. So a little bit more about me, and then we'll get on with the other things here. So I am a certified law of attraction trainer, a certified life coach, and a certified advanced energy master for coaching, published author and speaker and teacher of art. In fact, I'm in my art classroom here at the art school where I work. And now I would like to introduce you to my guest here. And Beth, I'll just have you briefly introduce yourself and then we'll come back to you for more information. Okay.
Wonderful.
Beth, let's hear who you are.
Hi, Sandra. Thank you so much for having me here today. It's so exciting to be on your show. Hi, everyone. I'm Beth Barany, and I am a coach and teacher for novelists. That's my passion. And I, too, am a novelist. I write magical tales of adventure and romance for readers who want to dive into a whole nother world and discover and find themselves and come back home to themselves. So that's a little bit about me. I look forward to sharing you with me, sharing me with you in this show
Awesome.
today.
Awesome. Yes. Because, you know, this show is about that high vibration and high vibration people. And the purpose is to bring you great thoughts and beautiful ideas and solutions, how to live this satisfying life. You know, we got these powerful days and we've been given on this planet Earth, and why not live it as satisfying as we can? Why not live it as a work of art, as a creative act, you know, where you could stand back and look at your life and say, you know what? I did that. I did that, and it was fun. Now, on Thursdays, my Hangout show is on Thursdays now. It is my intent to bring you guests and experts that have this in their thought forms, and they have beautiful ideas and solutions on how to live their lives as a creative act, or the art of living ageless. In fact, I like that idea of the art of living ageless so much that I actually have a community around that. So if you're I know you probably will be interested in some of my Google Plus communities, and you can access those off my internet site, Sandra Longmore at sandralongmore.com. And also, I have something real special going on right now, and it's the 4-part series, What Every Artist Ought to Know About Law of Attraction in Business. And I just going to finish up the next couple weeks with class 4, and then they will be all recorded and you can access those. But you can sign up right now today at my internet site, Sandra Longmore. So I also want to get you up to speed here about law of attraction. Some of you may have just kind of heard the idea of law of attraction, or you kind of heard this idea of The Secret. But I wanted to talk a little more about how the whole thing works, how the laws of energy work. And because this is my practice is to learn about energy and how to get energy to work for me and the people I work with through my coaching practice. And because I'm so intent on practicing all the time and using the laws to my advantage, I feel that there's a lot here to share with you. And some of you might still be wondering what it is. Well, you can prove it to yourself. In fact, that's the only way you find out how to work with the laws of energies is through proving it to yourself. And you might have thought a thought about someone and then they show up in your life, or you may have a coincidence happen and you say, whoa, that's so interesting that that happened that way. Well, really, what you could be saying is, I am so attractable, because that's what you are. You're an attractable, magnetic being. And, to know this, to really know this and feel this in your core as a declarative statement that I am attractable is like a path of least resistance. And that means that doors open at the right time, people appear with the answers you want, and life gets oh so much sweeter. And there are coincidences that happen. And just like yesterday's, this happened to me. And I'm teaching here at the art school, and I had a class full of young artists, and I had this urge, I had this feeling, oh, I need to go down. I'm going to go downstairs and tell the office manager that I'm going to get a package today, because I just ordered some brand new art supplies. So I was really kind of excited. You hear that vibration, energy, excited, urge, action. And so as I was walking down the steps, visualize this. I know you can because you're artists. So I just took the last step, and as my foot came down, the door opened, and there was a UPS man with the package for me. It was just so like choreographed. I thought, wow, I love when this happens. So what I said to the office manager, I said, oh, this is so freaky. I love when this happens, and she was laughing away because she knows, that I practice law of attraction, and so does she, and we laugh about it a lot. Now, the teaching point here is that there is a preferred language that will help you bring more of this kind of coincidences forward for you. And so the preferred language is this. Now, you get good results because of the vibe you're sending. And then the vibe, if the vibe is, like I said before, I had energy, I had enthusiasm, new art supplies. What artist doesn't feel enthusiasm about that? Urge to action. And then I took the action. And then that it unfolded where the UPS guy came in just as I stepped down the step, and I got the package and everything. So the language difference is that you could have said, or I could have said, because I know better now, I could have said, oh, I can't believe this is happening to me. I can't believe this is happening. But that's a different vibe than, I love when this happens. Now, do you see the difference? The difference is that when you say, I can't believe this is happening, I can't believe this is happening to me, law of attraction, it attracts to you whatever you have energy and focus on, then the law of attraction response is, oh, she can't believe. Okay, more of can't believe. That's what it equals. Match, match, match. More of can't believe. But using different language, law of attraction, world language, with, oh, this is so freaky, or this is so wonderful. You could say whatever you want, but the vibe, it's the vibe. This is so wonderful. I love when this happens to me. Law of attraction. Oh, she likes that. More of that. It's more of that. So you see the difference in the language. Very, very subtle difference, but it's all about the vibe. And that's how law of attraction works. So that's your tip today about law of attraction. And I wanted to also share with you one other thing, and that's this. And this is, you go, what is that, Sandra? How'd you come up with that? So what this is this is a nerve, and this is myelin. Whoops, myelin around that nerve, and it's really smooth. And as you practice anything, like if you're an artist or you're a great athlete or a violin teacher or player, musician, you create this thing called myelin around your nerves, and it becomes very, very smooth the more you practice. So the more you practice anything, the more that myelin becomes part of your whole being. It's part of your body. And I found this so exciting when I first heard that concept. And I heard it in this book, since we're talking about books, The Talent Code. Yeah. And this is a great book for explaining that. And it just kind of felt like I came home with what I kind of, I'd look for proof of law of attraction, look for proof of laws of energy. And so that was one of the things that I wanted to share with you today. So now let's get going with Beth. So now you're going to find out from the writer's coach how to get your book out into the world and into the hands of the reader. So Beth, you are on. I'm so excited.
Hi, Sandra. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I loved what you said about living as a creative act. I really have been stepping into that more and more. So not just using my creative energy to create my work as a novelist, and also I do visual art, but also in my work in running my business. So it's already there as a teacher and a coach. And so it was just very lovely what you said. I think that's a wonderful invitation for everyone to step into. How do they live every moment of their day as a creative act, and really paying attention to that vibe of their creative soul. I just love that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So I also wanted to say I love your visuals. Those are so fun. And I got really excited when you showed that picture of the nerve, because I too read The Talent Code, and I highly, highly recommend it. Yeah, I love that book. And I love what he said. He said, nerves that fire together, wire together.
Oh, yes.
Isn't that a great quote? I mean,
yes.
and he talked a lot about practicing a lot in a contained space. So, so for example, and I'll just draw an example from my own creative life, but it relates to how I help authors, is over the last 2 years, I've written almost 5 romance novellas. And a novella is a short novel. It's about a quarter length of a novel. And I've published 4, and I'm just about to finish my 5th right now, actually. And so what I did is I had to dream up the story. I had to, so I have this whole brainstorming process to create your novel. And I actually now teach that in a Plan Your Novel class that's happening right now. And people can still join us for that class. And then, of course, I had to write my novels. And then the 4 of them are all published. And then just recently, I published them all together in a collection called Touchstone Series. Books 1 through 4. Plus, there's a bonus short story. And this is available in print and on Amazon. And so what that means is, in the span of 2 years, I actually wrote and produced 4 romance novellas, and then a 5th book, because this collection. So I did a lot of practicing, a lot of taking action, a lot of rinse and repeat. A lot of plan, write, publish, plan, write, publish. And I did that on purpose. I did it because, and I'm self-published, I did it because I wanted to have the experience of putting my work out into the world. I didn't want to wait anymore. I had sort of been sitting a little bit back, and I realized I had to move forward. I had to lean in. I had to really take action on my dream of being a published romance author. And so because I had that experience in the last few years, I was able to turn that into the curriculum for my Plan Your Novel class, which you can find by going to bit.ly, so bit.ly/30-day challenge, because I challenge you to plan your story in 30 days. And so that's what we're doing right now in June in a live facilitated class. People can join us, and totally welcome to come and join us.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. And I can go on. I can always go on.
Yes.
I love talking about
Love
writing.
to hear it. Yes, and yeah, I find you very inspirational, and also your practice, how you get all this stuff together in your head and make it all happen.
I'm actually very step-by-step oriented, and I like to start at the beginning and move to the end, and when I write and also when I plan. But I also leave room, I also want that sense of freedom to be able to popcorn ideas, write ideas kind of in a circular style and a non-linear style. So my brainstorming methods, I think of it as like little bubbles. Like, okay, now I want to figure out what is the beginning of my story. And I might think, well, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this. Oh, they can meet at an ice cream store. No, maybe I could have them meet on the street. No, wait a minute, what if they met dancing? So I run a bunch of scenarios through my mind, and sometimes I write them down, sometimes I don't, but it allows me that freedom. And then once I know the beginning of the story, and I dive deeper into the characters, who are my characters? And I have a whole rubric, a whole list of questions that I ask them. And I literally interview them, and I write it all down, because writers need to write. And so I encourage everyone to write your ideas down. Doesn't matter if you're going to use them now or not, because it really it's part of that whole momentum, and you're showing yourself that you're serious about being a writer. Is you're going to write down your ideas, no matter how silly, no matter how outlandish, because at the brainstorming process, you're just feeding your creative cauldron. It's bubbling, it's in the back of the, it's there. It might be kind of off to one side, but you're just feeding it. You want to feed it so it can bubble and it can sort of nourish your creative mind. Because creatives, as many of you probably have noticed, and Sandra, you probably have noticed, is we gather inspiration from everywhere, from anything and everything and everyone and every simple moment, and from exciting moments, from going to a new place to just like when I step out later to go take my walk and I get to see the flowers and the people, everything feeds us. So the difference between getting our art done and not is intention and focus. So my class invites people to set the intention from the beginning and then slowly open it up. I liken it to opening the accordion. At the beginning, I just ask you to do a few small assignments on week 1. Week 2 gets bigger, week 3 a little bit bigger. And by the time you're at week 4, that's the week with the most assignments, but you've thought through your story a lot. And by then you're planning your story and outlining actual scenes, so that at the beginning of the following month, like in July of this year, like every year, you could join Camp NaNoWriMo, which stands for National Novel Writing Month, and write your novel. Or you could wait till November, which is the big national, people are most aware that it happens in November. So it's, the course is designed so people could really kind of rev up their momentum, set their intention, put ideas on the page, and be walked through thinking about their character, thinking about their story world. Maybe it's fantasy, maybe it's science fiction, or even the real, this world. You still need to understand how to build that world into your story. You need to know your characters. You need to understand, how do you create kind of a macro vision of a story from start to finish? And then how do you actually translate that into the building block of story, which is scene? How do you build a scene? And so we will be covering all of that in my class. And if you can't join us live in June, that's okay. I also have a self-paced home study version currently available at BaranySchoolOfFiction.com. And that's where that lives as a home study course. And I have some other courses there as well. So you got me on a roll.
Yeah, I like that self-study, because busy. I'm busy, and I love the live and being live with people, but also the self-pace is really, I feel good about that, signing up for that, because I can do that anytime, self-paced, right?
Yeah,
I can do it anytime, yeah. Then is there a community with that, or a Facebook page? Or
yes, so for people who join either the live facilitated class when we run them once or twice a year, like right now in June and again in October, or if you sign up for the self-paced home study version, we have a private Facebook group called Fellowship of the Pen, and it's for students who take this class, however, in whatever format. And it's a peer-run group, and I have a peer coach who's looking after it, and I look after it as well, but I'm not facilitating that. So it's for you to share your assignments. And also within the class itself, on my school, you can actually post your replies to the homework. And I have quizzes, and you enter quizzes, and you get a chance to win things. And that's also where you can chat with your classmates, where you can just, read the assignment, do the assignment, and post your brainstorm.
Good. So then you're with those like-minded people that
Absolutely.
you know all about. Awesome.
Yeah, who want to be planning and writing fiction. And my specialty is fiction. That's all I do in my business. I really love, love, love working with novelists, because I am a novelist, and I'm proud. I'm an award-winning novelist. My novel, Henrietta the Dragon Slayer, won grand prize in 2012 for California Independent Fiction Contest. And I'm very proud of this book. It's a young adult fantasy novel. Super happy to have this book. And I have book 2 also finished and published. Both of these are available on Amazon in print and digital. This is Henrietta and the Dragonstone, book 2. And I'm currently editing book 3 right now.
Awesome. So what is that for, adults or children, like teens, or what age group is it? Or is it both?
It is designed for teens ages 12 and up. And it is read also by a lot of adults read my book. But I have teenagers reading, young adults in their 20s, and also people my age and older.
And like Harry Potter, huh? Kind of
like Harry Potter. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, move your head a little bit so we can see the dragon. Yeah.
Oh,
see the dragon in the background there?
There's my dragon. Yes, I love that dragon. It's so beautiful. And it's right next to, I don't know, it's a little harder to see. It's right next to a landscape of Paris. And it inspired me. I said, oh, what if I put a dragon in Paris?
Ooh.
And that inspired me. So it's actually one of the stories in here called Parisian Amour. It's one of the romances where the two lovers have to work together to solve some horrible catastrophe that's happening to Paris. And they actually have to fall in love to save the city.
That's so cool. I love hearing how you've just developed all that and created it all, and then brought it out into a manifestation here, into an actual book. And of course I like dragons.
Yeah, dragons are so wonderful. Yeah, really. I have lots of dragons. My grandfather collected dragons too, and so I have a Chinese dragon kite on my wall. I have little dragons I collect. I feel very much like dragons are an ally for me.
Yeah, they're certainly trendy. You see them in different shows, and the kids, the reason I noticed the dragon when we first, Beth and I got in the green room here, is that the kids in my art class love drawing dragons, and they've drawn the one on your wall quite a bit. So
that's wonderful. Yeah,
yes.
Beautiful. That was from a calendar. But I don't remember what the theme was. Maybe dragons. Yeah.
So what inspired, like in the talent code, in this talent code book, he says that you're usually sparked. you're usually sparked by something like athletes have a spark that happens to them when they're very young or sometime in their life. And then the myelin or the deep practice comes from that. But then the spark happens throughout your process of deep practice. So what do you think you were sparked as to be a writer? Do you have a story about that? I'm sure you have a story.
Absolutely, yeah. I would say from about 8 years old, 7 years old, I was deeply in love with what I called magic tales. And so I would go to the library and ask the librarian at school, where are the magic tales? And she said, come here, come here. And she said, this is a card catalog, and this is how you look up magic tales. So she showed me how to look it up in the card catalog and how to then find the books on the shelves. And so I just gobbled up those books as soon as I was able to read. And I just love them. And then soon after that, I wrote my first story with my brother. And that one happened to be about the cats in our house that we always had cats. And I wanted to get it published. And it just so happened that my great-grandmother was a published writer. And so I had it in my mind, I want to write a letter to great-grandma and ask her, how do I get this book published? So I've been wanting to be published since I was 8 years old.
So that was a spark. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. You know, when I tell that story, kids ask me, well, how were you sparked? And I said, well, the way I was sparked was my mother and my grandmother. My grandmother was in a wheelchair, and my mother helped her. She ran a boarding house, and she cleaned the apartments in the boarding house, or the apartments. And so they made up for me, out of butcher paper, they made up this book for me. And I drew horses, a little bit like dragons, but I drew horses. And I'm sure that they said, you're the most wonderful artist ever, you know, because it kept me quiet, right? Kept me out of their hair. And so I think I say my spark came from that. And also probably the thought, my grandmother, she started painting late in life. She started like she was 80, 90, when she was 90, when she started painting. And she said, I never had any time to do it till now. And she was in a rest home, and she said, now in the rest home, this is the best ever. They feed me and I can paint. And I thought, I don't want to wait that long.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And also I have to say that my parents always read to us, always. And I have fond memories of my father reading Scheherazade, 1001 Nights to us when we were children. And the stories were magical and adventurous, lots of twists and turns. And I was just so enchanted by that. And I always, they were always telling us stories, and we were always enjoying movies and stories. And my parents were very into it and still are. And so there was this culture of story growing up. And my father's a very good spontaneous storyteller as well. So it was just a natural extension. And then when I asked for advice from my mother, she said, well, let me tell you what great-grandma said. Well, it's her grandmother, my great-grandma. She said, you start at the beginning, you write the middle, and then you get to the end. And that is the advice that my great-grandmother Meridell passed down to me. So, and it's actually simple, but profound. And I have seen that over the years. I really get that now. And it's not easy to come up with a good beginning, get to the middle, and find an end. But that is our work as writers.
Nice formula.
Yes. And of course it goes deeper into that.
Start at the beginning and go to the end.
Yeah. And of course I teach the complexities of that in our class.
It sounds like a great class. It really does.
Oh,
now, Beth, I have your internet site up here, and I can share it with our viewers.
Oh, please do. Yes, I have a main site.
There's share screen, and there you are. Start sheet. Okay, there you are. So
Great.
there's your site,
yes.
And what can we? Yeah. So and they can sign up.
So from here, I just realized my class, I realize I haven't, it might be on the events page. So here, this is bethbarany.com, and I might have linked to it if you could click on events. And there it is. 30-day challenge to prepare your novel.
Right there.
Plan your novel. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's right there. They can click there and read all about it and sign up. And if you're not sure it's right for you right now, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can sign up to get on the list. I'm sorry, not this page, but the 30-day challenge page.
Okay.
They can sign up for that. But if you take us back to the, oh, you're going there? Okay, great. Yay. Thank you.
Okay.
So here it is.
Here it is.
Plan your novel course. And you're welcome to sign up with us and you'll get the recording for week 1, which we just had this week. And we have 3 more lesson calls, coaching and teaching calls this week. And then we have a bonus call on the 5th Tuesday. And all the calls are Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome.
We do a combination of teleseminars one week, webinars the next, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Thank you for sharing that. That's so lovely.
Yeah. So now I'm going to get back to us. I think I just do this. Yeah, there.
You did it.
Well, that wraps it up for today. And now you know how to get a hold of Beth and at her internet site and what that course sales page looks like. I love the orange on that page.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's such a vibrant, playful color.
Yes, yeah. And you can find out more about my Hangout shows by going to my internet site, Hangout with Sandra Longmore. Yeah, hangoutwithsandralongmore.com. You can also get there by Sandra Longmore. I have a redirect on that. And the thing that I have cooking is I have the this show, and I love to showcase artists like Beth and any of you that like to have interest stories on my show. And then also I have a 4-part series coming up. So you can, that's self-paced, and you can sign up for that. It's on my internet site too. And then right down below here, these lower thirds, it does say the event page, and you can get everything that I'm involved with there too. And I have the community listed there too, the G+Community for artists. So that wraps it up today, Beth.
Wonderful.
Love it. It was
Great.
a great show.
Thank you so much, Sandra. This was a lot of fun.
It sure was. So bye for now.
Bye-bye.